Welcome friends of the Orange County Library Systems and the Cuisine Corner program. We are celebrating the Hispanic Heritage Month and welcome. My name is Yamira Lee Johnson. I'm a holistic coach and they call me Chef Mira, and I'm going to show you today how to make alcapurrias. Alcapurrias is one of my favorite dishes growing up in Puerto Rico, and it's actually a fritter, and I'm going to show you what the ingredients are and how to make it at home for your enjoyment, so stay tuned. All right, so we'll go over the ingredients. So the alcapurria dough has three main ingredients. One is green bananas, guineo verde, pumpkin, and the Caribbean pumpkin looks like this, calabaza. And then we have taro root, which is yautia. You wanna peel and cut all the ingredients, and we are gonna mix about 6 guineo, 6 bananas, 1 cup of calabaza, and 1 cup of taro root. Once you dice them, put them in the food processor and make a dough that is going to look like this. Now, once my dough was ready, the wet dough, masa, we call it masa, I added salt, pepper, and some sofrito just to give it flavor. The next step you're gonna take is you're gonna find annatto seeds that look like this, and you're gonna slowly simmer them in some avocado oil. And you're gonna get this mixture right here, which I am going to use to put together the alcapurrias. Alcapurrias can be stuffed with different ingredients, but for you, I made some ground beef and I added salt, pepper, adobo, some green olives and ground beef, cooked it down with a little bit of diced tomatoes just to give it some flavor. Then I have here some corned beef, which is the one that comes in a can. And I know it's not, usually people prefer the beef, but this is my favorite flavor when it comes to making alcapurrias. And then here I have some lump crab meat that I also cooked down with sofrito, adobo, and some olives. And then this is for the seafood lover. This is exquisite. Now to put together my alcapurrias, I have some banana leaves, which I already washed and dried and sanitized. And I'm also gonna show you how to use, a simple bag to use it, okay? So how do we put the alcapurrias together? Then I'm going to take some of the annatto or achote oil and spread it on the banana leaf, just like this. This is gonna impart flavor, and it's also going to help the alcapurria release. Then I'm going to take about 1/4 cup of the masa, spread it, and then kind of form it. It's gonna be like, what do you call this? You don't want it to be circular, more of like elongated like that, and spread it in the center because that's where we're going to add our stuffing. The first one I'm going to make is gonna be the one with ground beef, and you want to use a heaping amount just because you're going to eat this at home. You want to take a little bit of beef in every bite. You could also use shredded chicken if you like to. Now, using my spoon, and I like using a wooden spoon, I'm going to first fold the banana leaf, so I'm closing it. Then take the bottom, the bottom, and just bring it together, scrape it together. And then when you open it, just finish closing the alcapurria with the banana leaf, using the banana leaf as your support and your spoon, kind of shape it. Doesn't have to be perfect because once you close it completely, this one can use a little bit more masa. Once you close it completely, it's gonna get the shape. Now, once you go through these steps, you have a couple of options. You can roll it up on the same leaf and freeze it, or put it in the refrigerator for an hour so the masa kind of comes together and seals, or you could actually freeze them because they can be fried from frozen. See, once it has that shape, close it again, kind of scrape in, so it kind of seals it together. And then you have the shape of your alcapurria right there. If you don't have banana leaf, that's okay. You could use a regular Ziploc and then add the oil. You just gotta be more careful when you put them in the oil to fry. Instead of sliding them in, you wanna kind of give them a push. But you could use a Ziploc just like this. You could also use parchment paper. Parchment paper works great too. Now we'll go ahead and fry them. We have the alcapurria ready. I'm gonna slide them carefully into the oil that is hot, 375. You want the oil to be really hot. They're gonna go all the way to the bottom. You know how they're ready? When they start coming up. So don't touch them. You don't want to break them apart. Actually, using a fish spatula, you could cover the oil just so the top part also gets some oil. And as soon as it gets loosened up, this is frying really nicely because it came up all by itself without having to touch it. Give it about 3 to 4 minutes per side. If the oil is really hot, it's gonna start cooking really nicely. That's the key here. You don't want cold oil. I actually can flip this one. And when I flip it, I'm going to pierce with the fork. The reason I do that is because I want the oil to go through and cook it inside also. You don't want to brown them and then still have the masa not cooked inside. This is the corned beef. I could let that cook in on the side. And now I'm going to do the beef one. Same process. Just gonna slide it. That's about, you want to start seeing that color turning, and that's the color that you want. I'm gonna hold it on top of the oil for a moment. Be sure that it doesn't drop again because it will burn you, it will splash back. So just be careful when you do this part. But I want that oil to drip down as much as possible. Then we're going to let it sit on top of a napkin to absorb the rest of the oil. And then our alcapurrias, we're gonna let them rest because they're really hot, and they are ready. And thank you for watching. These are alcapurrias are ready. We have explained how to make the masa, how to stuff them and fry them. And once they get ready, this is the product that you want. You want them crispy. And when you cut them in half, you have all that stuffing in there. They're really hot, so please let them sit before you eat. And thank you again for watching. And for more Hispanic Heritage Celebration recipes, go to OCLS.info. Thank you for joining us.